After World War II, the western mule deer populations were probably at an all-time high. That was the time when there were lots of big mule deer. Then things changed. Game managers really don't know why the mule deer started a downhill slide. It's probably many factors. Less predator control, changing land use, sagebrush eradication. But the mule deer have been in a state of decline, especially in their classy Rocky Mountain habitat for many, many years. Well, I knew that Alberta was one of the truly great places remaining to go hunt mule deer. They've got very conservative tags, and the mule deer have come back up there, and they grow big in the body and big in the antler on those windswept prairies. And the mule deer is truly one of North America's most difficult trophies. Today, join us for the search for a monster muley as we open the pages of Trijicon's World of Sports Afield.
Trijicon's World of Sports Afield is presented by Trijicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Zeiss Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Cannon Safes, nothing protects like a cannon, the Wild Sheep Foundation,
and Les Chameaux, the best boots money can buy.
November in Alberta can test both a hunter's gear and his will, especially when the freezing Canadian winds roar across the open prairie and the cold tries to pry its way into any opening. Craig came prepared to battle the brutal elements, decked top to bottom in his Boyd gear, clothing that had proven itself many times on winter hunting expeditions. Cold or not, the rifle had to be tested after the air travel, and Craig trudged through the snow to make sure the Trijicon scope was still in zero. True to form, both shooter and equipment were ready to hunt.
We're here on the high plains of southern Alberta. That's the beginning of the Rocky Mountains behind us, and obviously we're in the prairies, and it's a cold day at the end of November. This is mule deer country. Mule deer were pretty short in this country for a lot of years, but they've taken good care of them the last few years, and this is one of the few places in North America where you've got a really great chance to get a fine mule deer. I'm here with a couple of good friends. This is Jim Ruff, my fishing buddy from Black Gold Lodge in Rivers Inlet, British Columbia. Wade Jensen. Now, Wade's a guide for Milk River Outfitters, Dwayne Nelson's outfit, and that's who we're going to hunt with. The Milk River is just a little bit to the south of us. Great mule deer country, and man, it's good to be here. But let's warm up for a little bit and then go see what we can find.
Let's do it.
All right. Kind of shows what we're looking at, man. This is big country.
Big country. We're on about the southeast boundary right now. We run west for about 5 miles here, and then we'll run north. Pretty much everything you can see to the north.
Wow.
Is part of the ranch here.
Well, it seems to me that with that much ground and open like it is, the best thing to do is just move and blast, huh?
Yeah, get up high and lots of looking.
The conditions are tough, but the muleys are on the move when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns. The Hunting Tradition, brought to you by Dallas Safari Club.
I'm Diana Rupp, Editor-in-Chief of Sports Afield magazine, with this week's installment of The Hunting Tradition. For more than 4 decades, the Dallas Safari Club has worked to preserve hunters' rights, conserve wildlife, and promote outdoor education. The name Dallas Safari Club is actually a bit misleading, since the group's members hail from every corner of the globe to form one of the world's premier hunting and conservation organizations. To fulfill its mission, Dallas Safari Club hosts one of the world's largest outdoor sporting conventions every January, an event with which Sports Afield magazine is a proud partner and sponsor. The money raised at this convention goes to fund wildlife conservation projects around the world. Youth education programs are at the core of Dallas Safari Club's mission. Its youth initiative is 3-pronged. There's the Outdoor Adventures program in public schools, the Shooting Archery Field Excellency Trials for youth, and outreach programs that send kids on adventures from Alaska to Africa. Dallas Safari Club is helping to turn thousands of youth into the newest generation of hunters and conservationists. I'm proud to be a member of Dallas Safari Club myself, and if you're not already a member, I encourage you to take a closer look at this excellent organization, and we would welcome you if you would like to join. You can learn more about the hunting tradition in every issue of Sports Afield magazine and at sportsafield.com.
Now that's a beautiful herd of mule deer. These are technically prairie deer, but Alberta's been a place that historically has produced a lot of great bucks. They've got great genetics and they grow good mass, and they're big-bodied deer. They have to be to survive these winters. I'm encouraged. The weather's a little nasty, but we're up to about 10-12 degrees now, and it's getting better.
By necessity, the mule deer of Canada are hardy creatures that must battle the harsh conditions their environment pits against them. Yet the mule deer is a master of adaptation that not only survives, but thrives in the prairie country of Alberta. This is big country, and deer densities are lower than much traditional muley ranges. But the bucks are there for the hunters willing to hunt hard and cover a lot of country. Wade and Jim know this country well, and understood they would have better luck covering large chunks of country in the warmth of a 4-wheel drive vehicle. When the deer were spotted, trophy quality was judged through the spotting scope, and a stalk on foot would be planned if a trophy buck was spotted. Even with 4-wheel drive, Mother Nature will show her teeth from time to time. But Dwayne and Wade were, as good guides are, prepared. And a bit of shovel duty and the addition of tire chains are simply part of the hunt up here. And the wise hunter will accept these breaks with good humor and a smile.
We're stuck for the first time, but fortunately we got chains. Put it out, chain up.
Not long after, the truck was back on the road. With the sun slipping toward the horizon, the hunters headed back toward camp, as day one of the hunt came to a bone-chilling close.
Well, it's a lot warmer today. It's about 20 degrees. We got some wind, so the wind chill's probably going to be about the same. But by the mercury, it's warmed up quite a bit. Got kind of an overcast day, and there's more wind supposed to come in, but we might have missed it. We're gonna go back up here and see if we can relocate a really big buck that was on the neighbor's ranch and see if he's come in. You know, when they're in the rut, they move around quite a bit, so you can't count on them being in the same place where you found him. In this case, that's exactly what we want. We're hoping he's moved this direction. There's just 4 does in this little pocket. Probably the same 4 does we saw here yesterday. The buck we're looking for doesn't seem to be here, but there's an awful lot of deer further west that we haven't seen. We can pass him from this hill and he might have moved in, but he's certainly not where he was yesterday.
Well, he's here somewhere.
Craig Boddington battles Old Man Winter. Next on Trijicon's World of Sports Afield. Jim Ruff also had a mule deer tag in his pocket, and the plan was for Jim to take a good management buck if the opportunity presented itself. Early one afternoon, a herd with just such a buck was spotted, and the stalk was on.
Well, Jim, your plan was to take a management buck, and I think we got the perfect deer. We saw him yesterday, that really big 2-point. You don't want him breeding. Wade, how do you want to go about it?
We'll hop down off the hill here. We'll be out of sight. Just roll around and get it on top of him.
Sounds good.
Anyway, we decided, okay, we found him. We're going in to get him. And of course, everybody's younger than me in this trip. And yeah, you know something, that slugging through those drifts of snow up to our knees was no easy task.
Top is back.
Great shot.
Good shot.
Great shot. Well done.
Thanks, buddy.
Well done. Good job.
Yeah.
What was that distance?
Good. 280 yards.
Okay, correct. Cool. Well, Jim, that really is a classic management buck.
He really is. Yeah.
Perfect.
Good one to get out of the herd for.
Good one to get out of the herd. He's definitely not the genetics we're after out here.
Great stalk. What, he was about 600 yards when we saw him, and
750 when we left.
was he? Okay.
We got down to 280 yards when Jim put him down.
Yep. Well done.
Yeah, he went down solid, didn't move. That's what we're looking for.
Good job, both of you. Well done, Jim.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Wade. Excellent.
Wade, nice job, man.
Yeah.
Great. Well done. Now we got a little work to do, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we have.
Craig finds the buck he's been looking for, but can he close the distance? Find out when Trijicon's World of Sports Afield returns. And now, Inside the Hunt, brought to you by Hornady.
On today's Inside the Hunt, let's talk about matching the scope to the hunt or to the game. You know, we've got lots of choices in scopes, and with American hunters today, tastes and scopes are starting to get bigger and bigger. And, you know, in genuine long-range situations, maybe that is good to have that extra magnification, but there are a lot of hunting situations where too much scope can simply get in the way. Remember, you got to pay for it, you got to carry it, and that real high magnification may not be any use at all. It really depends on what you do. This is a 450-400 3-inch Ruger, and I've got a low-power Trijicon 1.25 to 4X on it. Really, for a rifle like this, where you're probably going to be hunting buffalo and perhaps hippo, you're not going to shoot at extreme distances, so the ability to go up to 4X is really all you need. But in real close range or close cover, the ability to go down to 1.25 is just as useful, because the last thing you want to do in a close range situation is have so much magnification that all you see is hair through the scope when you raise your rifle. Always and forever, one of the most popular scopes amongst American hunters has always been the 3-9, and this is a 3-9 Trijicon on a 375. Very, very versatile scope. Now me, I shoot with both eyes open, so when I put it down to 3X, I'm really still seeing with my right eye. I'm left-handed, so I still have that peripheral vision. It's a little different if you have to close one eye to shoot with a scope. But now you go up to 9X, my goodness, you've got all the magnification you need for any hunting you might do with a 375. Makes it a very, very versatile tool. And of course, if you're doing serious mountain hunting, you may need a bigger scope yet. Trijicon makes a wonderful 5 to 20X scope that's very powerful, really brings it in. Really great for very specialized hunting at long range. But that's, again, a very specialized tool, and that's not the kind of scope you'd want on a buffalo hunt or on a close cover whitetail hunt. So you want to make sure that you match the scope to the game. You want enough scope, but you really don't want too much.
This segment is brought to you by Cannon Safes. Nothing protects like a cannon.
Wade, what do you think? We've got about an hour and a half of daylight. We might, there's some good stuff we can't see from here.
Yeah, we'll walk up on that hill and we should be able to see down into this.
Okay.
Coulee pretty good. Beyond it, and hopefully find what we're looking for.
Let's find out. I'm really glad that wasn't my idea, because that was a miserable walk. The further we got, the worse the wind got, and it was just blowing a blizzard. We couldn't keep the blowing snow out of our eyes, and it was cold. We were well dressed, so we weren't really freezing to death, but we were sure miserable in that biting wind. And we finally got to the top of that hill just in swirling snow, and we were absolutely certain that Stickers wasn't with them. So we decided that whosever idea this was, it wasn't a very good idea, and we turned around and headed back to the truck. I was really glad to get there.
A long, cold march back to the truck signaled the end to another hunting day, one that had been challenging on every level. The next day dawned calm, but cold, a perfect time to catch a big buck on the move. Wayne and Craig were in position early, and their efforts were about to pay off.
Okay. He's still coming. Let's let him come. Okay. Beautiful buck. Wow. He is a beautiful buck. Yes, sir. We saw this buck 3 days running.
3 days in a row. Finally
Yeah.
caught up to him this morning.
Yeah, he's a beautiful, beautiful buck. We're in a year where the antler growth is down a little bit.
Yeah, had a hard, long spring.
Yeah, it's had a bad spring and a lot of storms, but it's really easily the best buck we've seen. And a beautiful, beautiful deer, and he's got some nice character. He's got kickers on both sides, and he's got good forks all around. But, I think that's mission accomplished.
It is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, this is the first deer I've ever shot in Alberta.
Is it?
Yeah, I hunted whitetails up here 20 years ago several times, never pulled the trigger. Yeah.
Good one to start with.
Well, it is a good one to start with. But, probably not one to finish with. We'll have to do this again.
I believe we will.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks very much. It's been fun.
The prairie country of Alberta can be an inhospitable place when locked in the grip of a harsh Canadian winter. But for the hunter willing to brave the elements, the odds of finding a trophy muley buck are very good indeed. It had not been an easy hunt, but it had been a very successful and enjoyable hunt, where each member of the team could feel good about the rewards of their effort. And persistence had brought them 2 fine bucks. They had come to bag, like most hunts, with the passing of time. The bold, bitter hikes, they would soon be forgotten and replaced with fond memories of big, blocky mule deer bucks in the snow. Trijicon's World of Sports Afield has been brought to you by Trijicon, Brilliant Aiming Solutions, DSC, the Dallas Safari Club, Ruger Firearms, Hornady Manufacturing, Accurate, Deadly, Dependable, the Wildlife Gallery Custom Taxidermy Studio, Zeiss Sport Optics, Boyd Harness Company, Cannon Safes. Nothing protects like a cannon. The Wild Sheep Foundation.
And Leishamo, the best boots money can buy.
Closed captioning provided by Getting Involved, a guide to hunting and conservation for kids.